has market failures too and requires regulation. And the regulation should be such that neither strangles the market nor leaves it free to be manipulated.
So the invisible hand is redundant.
Well, the invisible hand, you see there are two hands. There's the invisible hand of the market and there is the heavy hand of the government. And unfortunately in Cyprus, we had both of them failing at the same time. Okay? So, the government hand is supposed to protect the invisible hand to make it work. But if the heavy hand of the government, instead of doing that,
It's part of the invisible.
well, it's made things worse. I mean, and that says on ethics. Ethics has become a lot more important in recent years because we have seen where unethical behavior can lead. All in the roots of all this financial crisis, economic crisis, all the things that happen with the Euro group, what happen with the banks and so on, is unethical behavior. Is the greed of people. Greed is good, right? Greed is good. It's what makes people get up in the morning. It drives the markets, it drives work, it drives competition. But too much greed or unrestricted greed might lead also to the law of the jungle, might lead to a lot of manipulation of the markets, might lead to the rich exploiting the poor, and etc., etc. We are going to see a lot of these things. So we have to find a system whereby the government is not the entrepreneur, the government is not, if the student doesn't do business, the government should do the regulation, the oversight, and find the right regulation that will correct the failures of the market and make the market work better, not the government distorting the market. Okay. Let's see the next one. The next one is point out, okay, what is this one? Sorry for the previous page. You are a junior employee at a large investment bank. You ask hours before a client meeting, a portfolio manager tells you to review the portfolio of one of the bank's smallest customers and find a new benchmark that will make it look like the portfolio has performed better than it really had. A new benchmark means what? Don't compare it, let's say, to the last month or the month before. Find the previous month to benchmark when it was low, the value, to show that it has increased. Okay? You know that the client remains with the bank, okay, as a favor to a friend who works there. What do you do? A, point out that misleading the client risks getting the manager in trouble, and the client isn't going anywhere. Be frank, underperformance happens in certain markets. B, don't take a chance with a manager who asks you to lie. Immediately take your concerns to another manager. C, find a new benchmark. As long as you footnote it, you haven't done anything illegal. And D, duck the request. Duck means avoid the request to mislead the client and prepare a presentation that encourages the client to focus on the future. How many? Who of you say A? Okay. Who of you say B? Who of you say C? Why C?
Because the instructions are not very clear.
Why?
It doesn't say find a new benchmark that I can show the customer. It might be something that he wants to present it. Maybe every company has contingency plans. Maybe some stress tests, maybe whatever. It doesn't say that he will use it. He just said find me a new benchmark. It doesn't say find me one that I will use.
That would make it look like the portfolio had performed better than it really had. You are covering up the fact that the portfolio, the return of the portfolio has been falling the last 6 months, and you say compared to what it was last year, it went up, but it has been falling the last 6 months.
This is what we call a lose-lose situation, because if you disobey the manager, you might get fired because you're a junior employee.
Yes.
But if you do the thing which is unethical, yet may not get you in trouble, may get the manager in trouble because he's the one that will show it, then you're part of the losing team, let's say.
Yeah. So Do you want to work with a company when they ask you to do things to mislead the customers? The person who said B, why B? Why B? Don't take a chance with the manager who asks you to lie, immediately take your process to another manager.
Might lose your job.
Huh? Why this is not the right choice, the best choice?
Because maybe it's not another manager to go, or
There is another manager to go. Why don't you do that?
It is unethical as well to.
Maybe not unethical, but what it is.
You will lose their trust.
Yes. I mean, look, in ethics, don't just, we are not this guy, so like, take the gun and shoot. I mean, one moment, you have to work in that company. These are colleagues of you who are working together. You don't just jump every time you see something. You try to reason with them. Of course, if down the road they continue the same behavior, then of course, then you go to B. But you don't do that the first time, right? You try other things. In a company, you are a team player. You don't agree when they ask you to do things that are illegal or unethical, but you don't immediately go and blow the whistle. You just try to reason with them, right? And bring them along. And if you cannot succeed there, now, why the A is not a good solution?
Because we promise that the client won't go anywhere.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, you are telling him. You say, I'm not going to lie to the client. You just tell him, too bad, that's the way markets work. So what? You are not service. You are not helpful. So which is the best answer? D. Because what do you do in D? In D, yes, you avoid, you duck. You duck means, right? Someone is shooting you, you duck. Okay, you duck the request. That means you don't do anything else, just avoid it. And you duck the request to mislead the client and prepare a presentation that encourages the client to focus on the future. So provide the client with suggestions of how to do better in the future, right? Okay, so the best answer is D. Yes?
I'm not sure it's possible in the portfolio manager because they need to report on a regular basis
Yes.
the results, and now with the new regulation they need to put a benchmark and
Yes.
they completely avoid
Yes.
not
Yeah.
putting a benchmark.
No. What he says, we use the benchmark we always use, so I'm not going to change the benchmark. You see, his boss or some boss asked this person to change the benchmark to show that the investment, the portfolio of this client has done better than it actually has done. And the best solution is to tag it, to avoid, without causing a conflict, without running to the CEO and say, oh, I'm creating a problem. Avoid that, okay? Tag the request, and you prepare a presentation that uses the same benchmark, but provides guidance for the future of how this portfolio will do better. So this is what we call a positive response.
So you still use the same benchmark?
Yes.
I mean, to provide the same.
The benchmark that you always use. You don't change it now because the portfolio is not doing well. You don't change the benchmark to show that, well, compared to last year, we are doing better. If you're using the benchmark every 6 months, continue the same benchmark and say, okay, we're going like this before, now we're going down, but if you use that this is the strategy, to do better in the future, right? So you have a positive response without, you see, I give you this to understand that in ethics. It's not just trying to kind of say you are, what is this?
turn the volume down.
Ethical. We are ethical than everybody else. Look at us. We try to balance things, still being ethical, try to be helpful, try to be good colleagues, but still be legal and ethical. I don't know, it's alive. Okay?
Switch it up.
Maybe it's with this here, right? And okay, maybe that's it, we have it switch off. Okay? Yes, please.
Not 100% clear about the deal because I'm not in financial part, but if I understand the portfolio management and performance of these financial instruments are non-predictable, you cannot actually predict the future. So meaning that if you focus your client on a positive outcome, you are misleading him because you don't know if it's going to perform better or not.
I'm not focusing on that, but I am saying to you the truth, how your portfolio has performed this day, and make suggestions of how he might consider handling his portfolio in the future. So I give him different options, how he could possibly do better in the future. Of course there is no guarantee. Advice there is no guarantee. But consider the alternatives. What is the other alternative? The one other alternative is to tell him too bad. The mark A, it says too bad.
But it doesn't say in A too bad, it says be frank. So
You be frank,
means, well,
but you don't offer anything. You are frank, but you say underperformance happens in a certain market. Okay, thank you very much. What do I do next? Right? So it's okay. It's half answer. It's a half answer. It doesn't tell me how to do from now on. Yes.
just a little bit confusing because for me it would be difficult to answer this question if you have an example. So I actually did the portfolio manager job and I had to report on to the clients and we had this issue because the fund managers, they would avoid using the benchmark because it would definitely clearly show underperformance. But legal-wise, there is a new regulation, Markets and Financial Instrument Directive, in new one, and the portfolio manager is obliged to use this benchmark. There is no way you cannot use the benchmark.
But which benchmark? I will say they use the benchmark that you always use.
Yeah.
Don't change the benchmark in order to fudge the numbers.
Yeah, but if you do use this benchmark, the figures will clearly show you the underperformance.
Yes.
You cannot avoid it.
Yes, show it. But then show a way out of this. Show how you can do better in the future. I mean, what is the alternative? The alternative is to say to him, too bad, that's the way certain markets work. Thank you very much. After this is my presentation.